Hello, yogis. Welcome to our Friday Empower Yin Yoga practice. My name is Jill Enticknap, and I'm the lead trainer and founder of Yogi Institute, an online yoga school and studio with a 200 to 300 hour certification program and a whole lot of continued education programs to offer. Lots of specialty programs. Go to the website, check it out if you're interested. So today we're going into our yin yoga practice, and yin is really about stillness. And to me, stillness leads into centeredness. So when we feel centered, we feel this clear alignment within who we are, within the words we say, our actions. We feel completely aligned with our dharma, our purpose, with what we're meant to be doing. And so we will do few postures. And within each shape, within each asana, within each posture, we will center ourselves back to ourselves, centering the mind, stilling the mind, and really allowing ourselves to slow down. So let's start in our seated position, ground down into your sit bones, feel that connection into the floor beneath you. And I encourage you to flip your palms, palm facing down onto the knees, and close down your eyes. As you start to become aware of the natural rhythm of breath. So not doing anything to change or shift or manipulate the breath, simply becoming aware. Noticing where the breath lands in your body in this moment. Noticing if the breath is shallow. Noticing if the breath is cool. Raising your awareness to your natural rhythm of breath in this moment. Then we're going to take 3 rounds of boxed breath. So boxed breath is an inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. So when I do it, I like to close down my eyes and actually imagine that I'm drawing a square in my mind as I'm coming through these 4 different parts of the box breath. So I'm going to count out 3 rounds, and then I'm going to leave you to do 3 rounds on your own. So let's inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue 3 more rounds, maybe counting in your own mind, or maybe you've been able to establish what that feels like naturally in your body with your breath. Something to keep in mind with box breath is It isn't about it being a 4 count, it's about it being an even count. So if you want to take bigger breaths and longer holds, just keep it the same. So maybe you start to increase and you come into a 6 count or a 7 count or an 8 count. And that can just really help you to deepen your experience of the breath practice. Notice after 6 rounds, 7 rounds, 8 rounds of breath, how you feel in this moment. This is such a useful breath practice, breath awareness for you to incorporate into your day, especially if you're someone that experiences anxiety or overwhelm or even fear or doubt. It's something that anchors you into the present moment and calms you down, brings you into that centered stillness. So really, really powerful tool. Let's come into our first pose. We're going to come into a butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together, the knees come out wide. Maybe you shimmy yourself a little bit forward, finding those sit bones, or maybe you kind of walk the feet away from the body and have the feet a little bit more out. Find what feels right for you. And with our yin practice, we want to feel our postures, but we don't necessarily want to feel the extreme of our posture. So we're looking for that Goldilocks place, according to Bernie Clark, one of my favorite teachers. So it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. So the we're looking for not too much sensation or extension or compression, not too little, but finding that middle ground where we can sustain, where we can still, where we can breathe, where we can observe. So finding that in your butterfly pose. Now, for me, I'm going to bring my hands forward onto my mat, creating just a little bit of a pelvic tilt, keeping the spine nice and straight, and closing down the eyes, keeping the chin parallel to the floor, and imagining that strong, long spine. Start to become aware of your breath. Feel into the inhales and exhales in the body. Let the mind center in on the breath. When the mind wanders, bring the awareness back to the breath. Start to walk your hands back toward your body. If you had those hands down, walk the hands behind you. See if you can plant the palms down, fingertips point forward, and you can keep your chin parallel. Let the knees fall out, maybe pressing the knees into the floor. Maybe there's a little bit of a pelvic tilt forward here. And as we change the angle of the spine, we change the tissues that are affected by the shape of our body. So maybe you take a moment to acknowledge, how does this feel different than when I hinge forward? How does this feel different in my body? How does this feel different in my mind? How does this feel different emotionally? Let yourself center and settle into your breath as you take a few rounds of breath here. Start to press the upper body back through forward, back through center. Let's clasp the hands together and take a moment to do some figure eights with the wrists. Let's change direction. And you can stay exactly as you are and take your right foot and extend it straight out in front of you. Actually, I'm going to stay like this too. Maybe I'll just shimmy back a little bit, keeping that left foot tucked in, coming into a half butterfly. Once again, we're going to hinge forward. Inhale, get nice and tall, and then exhale as you hinge forward. And you're looking for that sensation, but you're not forcing your body into something. You're creating the time and the space for the body to naturally, potentially naturally find a release. Let's breathe into this shape. This is probably one of the more important postures because it really works with our hamstrings and creating length in our hamstrings. And because we spend so much time seated in our day-to-day lives, whether we're working on a computer, driving, sitting on the couch, whatever the case may be, our hamstrings get shorter and they get tighter. And so these kind of hamstring stretches, now the hamstrings are connected to the hips and the low back. So sometimes if you have low back pain, it's actually more connected to tightness through the hips and the hamstrings than it is even to the low back. The low back is just where the sensation, the pain manifests. So as we're in this posture, maybe the body allows us to come a little bit deeper into it. But I want you to know that if you're feeling a lot of sensation, you can always slightly back out, but also know that it's okay and expected to feel a lot in this shape in the body because of our lifestyle. I share that so that you release any judgment that you might have around feeling tightness in the body. Know that we are here to help the body overcome that tightness. If there was no tightness, we probably wouldn't be here. If there was no sensation in the body, we probably wouldn't be here. So feel good about sensation and about the body's language and how the body communicates with us. Be grateful for that communication. The true problems begin when the body is numb and there is no more communication. So coming from that place of gratitude. Maybe the body invites you to sink a little bit more into this shape, maybe not. See if there's anywhere that you can create any kind of release. Start to walk your hands back towards your body. Plant your hands behind you. Let's take a moment and pedal out that right leg. So pressing the leg forward and back. Tuck the right foot in, extend the left leg out, get nice and tall. Let's inhale, lengthen, and exhale, come forward. So again, maybe you start with the hands down, the spine is straight, sinking those hips back, coming into this half butterfly. And what I like to do is to come to a point where I feel the sensation and then kind of back myself out, because that's where I can find that sweet spot. I come to the place where I feel, I come to the place where I don't, and I find that Goldilocks spot, that just right spot in between those two spaces. And potentially the body creates more room and you can release more into the pose as time passes. When and if the body invites you to come a little bit more into it, allow yourself, connect to your breath. Something that I find really interesting about yin yoga is, so with our vinyasa practice, the more we do it, the more fluid we can get with our transitions and our postures. So the more postures we can add into a sequence in a smaller amount of time. Whereas with yin, the more we practice, it's actually the less postures that we do, because we are able to be in the postures for longer periods of time. I think that that's a very interesting contrast between those two practices. Let's reconnect to the breath, reconnect to the centeredness. Reconnect to the sensations that this shape is creating in the body. And let's come back through center. Plant the hands behind you. Take a moment to pedal out that left leg. Bring that movement into the hamstring. Movement is just as important as stillness. The body was made to move. And we're going to send both legs out long in front. Ground down, get nice and tall, and start to hinge forward. So here, we're really looking to balance out the back sides of the legs. Again, just come into it and feel into it. Breathe into it. Let's take 3 more rounds of box breath here. And come back through center. Plant the hands behind you. Let's bend into the knees, planting the feet on the floor. Take a moment to windshield wiper out the knees. Find that movement in your body. Maybe you're coming all the way down, or maybe you're not. I need to shift myself forward a little bit. As we come all the way down onto the back, let's bring the knees into the chest, gently rock from right to left. Bring the hands onto the knees, do some circles, bring the knees apart and together, change direction, together and apart, together and apart. And we're going to settle in for our final resting pose, finding that in your body. Maybe extending the legs out long, having the hands down by your side does not feel good. Find what feels good for you today. Let's close down the eyes and once again, take 3 more rounds of boxed breath. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can continue with that or come to a natural rhythm of breath. You decide what you need right now. Going to let my voice fall quiet for the next minute or so. And let's bring the knees into the chest, wrap the hands around the knees, gently rock from side to side. Grab the backs of the legs and rock yourself all the way up into your seated position. Ground down into your sit bones. Let's press the palms together and tuck the chin to the chest. Taking a moment to acknowledge our practice, acknowledge our breath awareness, the box breath. Acknowledge the physical sensations through the hamstrings, definitely a hamstring focus today. So if you experienced a lot of tightness in that part of the body, know that you can save this video, come back to it whenever, and know that the hamstrings are connected to ease of movement, mobility, walking upstairs, running, anything that you need to do to move from one place to the other. The hamstrings are involved. And so if you're looking for more mobility, more ease of movement, please come back to this class. Start to get length and opening in that part of the body. Thank you for being here, for allowing me to share this practice with you. It is always my honor. Take what you need, leave the rest. The light, the love, the wisdom in me sees, honors, reflects, and encourages the light, the love, the wisdom in you. Namaste. I hope to see you again on your mats very, very soon. And until then, may your light be your guide.